Hey, what is up, everyone? This is Drayko the Psychic here, featuring Karen on the side over here. Karen, you can go away now. Um, so basically, this is going to be the third set for the custom card, for the custom card format that I'm in on a Discord server led by one of my friends, Nasferatuzod. He gave me the set that's going to be going live tonight at the time of this recording, so I hope I can get this out as soon as possible. There might not be a bit of editing in like this because there's like a lot of cards right here, and I kind of want to get this out as soon as possible. And sorry for not uploading a lot recently. Because of this whole pandemic that's going on around us. I my job actually has a demand for employees to work a drive-through, so we have a team A and team B. I'm on team B, I think. I think I'm on team B. I'm not sure. Because of that, I don't have much time to record. I only get one day off every so often, which is fine. I can totally understand that, but Trojan would like to not get in here. Okay. Yeah, every time I start up my computer, I get a lot of these. You should get these antivirus things. It's so annoying. Anyways, so we have a lot of cards right here, as you can see. We got the I can't read that. Transcended Pearl Dragon archetype made by Elutive. Sorry. They appear to be worm monsters, and I don't know what their gimmick is. I guess they get protection when you have another. I'm not sure. One of my friends, Teddy Slasher, built a Delphine deck, which is, I guess, Yu-Gi-Oh's first Dolphin deck. It looks pretty cool. This deck can attack you directly, and they do like some rank up plays or something like that. I like this art though, not gonna lie. Next we got a Pride Legion deck, I suppose. It is a Pride Legion deck, based all with worms, made by the admin, which I don't know how to say its name without getting laughed at. Yep. Looks like everything they. Oh, I guess not everything's a quick play spell. I'm not sure what this deck really does. I guess something about no tributing for their normal summons. Next up, we have my archetype, the Revealing Light. After thoughts and opinions and criticism from Nasferatuzod, I now think that Dragon and Magician is going to be a bit powerful, is actually powerful together. I gave Dragon a Revealing Light a new summoning condition, but that's not enough. So I do know that it's either Magician, which is the Stratus of the deck, or Dragon is going to get hit on the next ban list. And because of this ban list, there is actually going to be a new ban list coming out as soon as we have our first tournament, because after this set comes out, the Nasferatuzod is planning a tournament using these cards in any TCG legal deck that's out there. And we all know that returners are going to get hit because the guy that thinks that nothing's worth running if they don't have if they just die to one thing. I mean, this deck would still die to one thing, but if I have another extender, I'm fine. Next up, we got my friend Trey's Butter Spy deck. Unfortunately, though, they do not have the full combo that they needed, which, if you don't know, this is actually an anime deck from Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, run by Dextra. Dextra had a 3-card combo that included Butter Spy, Charm, Gate, and Swarm. Basically, it was a bit of a little loop that you can do to your opponent, making it so your opponent's monsters must attack if able with the Charm. Butter Spy Gate negates attacks and destroys a monster unless it was a Butter Spy's attack. And then Swarm right here will come in and inflict 1,500 damage to a player if they had their monster destroyed. So yeah, that was pretty much the combo right here. But unfortunately, though, this Gate and Charm are not going to be in this set because of it being a tech choice for some decks. However, though, this deck does really exceeds summoning. This deck really brings out the encouragement to Exceed Summon, powerful Xyz monsters. Even though they're like kind of locked into their archetype, they also got Alice, which is a really strong card, not gonna lie. We'll talk about that later. And this card's pretty strong. It's like the rescue rabbit of the deck. And then they got some pretty good defensive traps to go along with it. Next up, we got some Toons support by one of the newest members, Panda123. I remember making this card right here, although I didn't. I didn't think of calling it Cause Toon Farm Girl. I just did it because it was going to be a psychic toon, and wouldn't you know it, he made it psychic. He also made a Altergeist one, and this card, Treat or Toon. I think that's a despot right there. I'm not sure. Y'all can tell me in the comments if that's a despot. We then got a new Aeroant card, which was part of the Gemini sets. I forgot what that set's name was called. It was the Elemental something. It was Elemental something. Skyheart Savior and Ghost Salvage. Some one of cards that I guess some people made. Oh, actually that was Nasferatuzod that made that. Ghost Salvage. I don't know who made that. Anyways, the extra deck, we got the Pearl Dragons, the Delphine, Xyz monsters, and Link monster. We got the Allegiants. We got the Revealing Lights right here. Again, the artwork for this archetype was made by Top Hat Sukinoku on Dual Amino. So go download Amino, follow him, and tell him how much of a great job he did. And then the extra deck for Spies. He did make a Link 4 for it, but unfortunately that didn't get in. I did hear or talk to Nasferatuzod saying that they might be support for the next sets. That's not guaranteed, but it might be support, okay? And then we got the Toon Deep Crustacea, which I believe that's just a Toon Paleozoic, but it's whatever. It's custom, so we can do whatever we want. Anyways, let's go ahead and get right into this. Let's talk about the Toons for a second, because I feel like since this is a short section of the set, we might as well just get over it right away, because look how many cards that we have. We already saw like video of the Revealing Lights here, so we don't need to talk about that anymore. However, there is a 1-card combo with Angel, so yeet. Anyways, let's talk about this one. Alter Toon Marionette. Can we get Dzef in here so he can just enjoy this Altergeist thing right here? So, standard Toons affect Summon Sickness. They can't attack. However, though, for some odd reason, it doesn't look like the Toon monsters he's made don't have the effect to attack directly for some reason. Like, I don't see it on this card, and I don't see it on Farm Girl as well. So, Panda might need to either do something, because that's not what Toons are supposed to be. Toons are supposed to attack directly and annoy the crap out of your opponent. Alright, so Toon Marionette. What I'm guessing this card does is that it can set a Toon trap directly from your deck to your spell trap zone on normal, so that's actually pretty good. Toons actually have a really good trap card called Toon Briefcase, where if your opponent summons a monster, it just shuffles it into the deck. It doesn't even target it. Like, it's actually a really good trap for Toons. And it's also searchable with Toon Table Contents, but I believe with Toon Table Contents, you can just search Marionette out for free, and then Marionette is just a 1-card. I mean, Toon Table Contents is just a 1-card Toon Briefcase, either way. And this card makes you go +1, which is really, really nice. This is the advantage that Toons should get, because, it's Toons. They have Summon Sickness. They can't really do big damage until the next turn. And by the next turn, they're not going to have any monsters to do damage. So, yeah. And this one, like the original Marionette, has the effect to destroy a Toon. It destroys a card to special summon another archetype of itself from the graveyard. So you can destroy a Toon card. You could destroy a Toon card and summon a Toon monster from your graveyard. And each effect is only once per turn, so really good here. And I do remember making this card having this literal same effect, but I don't think I gave it the condition where you have to control Toon World to use its tag out effect. So if you don't know what Farm Girl is, basically she tags out to summon a level 4 or higher Cosmo monster from your hand, and this one does the same except it's for level 4 or higher Toon monsters, and that effect is a hard once per turn. And apparently, this one isn't a soft once per turn like the Cosmos are. They have a soft once per turn that can be activated by paying life points. So for Farm Girl right here, she does the same thing as the original, where she pays 500 life points to add a Toon card when it inflicts battle damage to your opponent. I feel like if you gave this a direct attack effect, this card could actually be really, really good because of, you could just attack directly with Cause Toon Farm Girl, and then you get another Toon. You can get a Toon table of contents, and Toon table of contents can get you another Toon card. But I mean, like, this is literally a Toon table of contents, right? A 6 copy of Toon table of contents right here. So, anyways, not only that, we also have Psychic Training legal, which is my card. So this card can be searched off with Psychic Training because it's the level 3 Psychic. And you can also retrieve it back from the graveyard with Training. However, though, you gotta activate Farm Girl's effect on that turn, otherwise you're gonna lose half your life points. So might as well just attack. It's not gonna attack, so might as well just bring out a Toon Dark Magician. Now, I feel like the Toon support is a bit unnecessary because we were confirmed by Konami that we are getting Toon support, but we don't know what BLS is going to do, so I hope you know that I'm joking. Okay, and my monitor just like split out for a second. I hope that didn't affect it. Anyways, we also got this one called Treat or Toon. It's a continuous spell. If I can just focus on it. Non-Toon monsters cannot attack the turn they are summoned, so this is just a floodgate. However, though, that could just be teched in stall decks, so I mean, that's a pretty cool effect. That's a pretty cool floodgate, but it can be teched. During the main phase, you can special summon one Toon monster from your hand, and you can send this card to the graveyard to target a Toon monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but its effects are negated until end phase. Until the end phase. Wait, really? Is that the problem summon card text for it? No. There has to be a "the" there, so we definitely missed something here. You can only use one. Okay, so it's a once per turn or only once that turn. Okay, so here's what I'm. There's a little problem I'm seeing here. There's 3 effects, but the effects are not really separate. I might as well do something right here. Alright, so this is a little problem-solving card text fix I want to give for Treat or Toon, because you have non-Toon monsters cannot attack the turn they are summoned, so that means that's its own continuous effect. And then I would have the 2 effects separated by dots, which I really like about cards having dots. They kind of look pretty cool. And then you have this before the effects. You can only use one of the following Treat or Toon effects per turn and only once that turn. So that means you can either special summon a Toon or send it to reborn a Toon from the grave. So actually having its effects negated when it was summoned from the graveyard, meaning that you could actually just attack with it, but it's not going to be able to attack directly. So I mean, I guess you could summon out a strong Toon beater, and then it can attack that turn. You can just attack over a problematic monster, something like that. But problem-solving card text wise, this is what I think would be most appropriate for it, because if you just had it like what this was right here, then it would mean like you can't. It kind of puts a weird problem-solving card text error around non-Toon monsters cannot attack, and that effect is only like once, so that kind of like raises a question mark above everyone's head anime style. Anyways, but all in all, I think the Toon support is pretty neat right here. There's not too many, since there's too many Toons to talk about in one video. So these 3 Toons right here, they're fine. I really like it. Kind of happy that they made it in. Now let's talk about the big archetypes. Let's talk about Pearl Dragons. So this one right here is a bunch of Asian names that I'm not going to say, because I know the admin is going to be laughing at me for that. So we got this one right here. If you control a transcendent Pearl Dragon monster, I in problem solving card text, monster isn't really needed anymore, so this shouldn't be here. Oh wait, I can inspect that. I could actually inspect most stuff. Could I actually inspect this effect and change it? Because no one uses monster type monster in problem solving card text anymore because of the new PSCT for Master Rule 4, where graveyard was abbreviated and then the monster part was taken out, and during either player's turns were switched to quick effects. Cannot target this card with card effects, so that might be a bit hard to get over. 2200 attack. I guess you could just like summon check this out man to and honest. That's your combo right there. When an attack is declared involved your level 8 or lower dragon or worm monster, you contribute one monster, special summon this card from your hand once per turn. If this card would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can send the TP? What? TP slash Drayko? TP slash Nasferatuzod? What's this TP? TP. Okay. You can send the top card of your deck to the graveyard instead. So this protects itself by milling? Isn't that shared by all the Pearl Dragons? Oh, yeah, they are. Okay. And I guess they all have the same effect where if an attack is involved, you can tribute a monster to special summon it from your hand, and they all have the same effects. But their first effect seems to be a bit different. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. Okay. This card cannot be destroyed by card effects, so that one cannot be Raigeki or Lightning Storm. This one, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Also, their monsters cannot target this card for attacks. So you basically can't do much with this against that. And this one right here is basically the normal summon of the deck. You can discard one monster, send one Transcendent Spell or Trap from your deck to your graveyard. Then add a Transcendent Pearl Dragon monster from your deck to your hand. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster while you control a Transcendent Pearl Dragon monster other than Senlin Long, you can activate this effect. For that battle, this card cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, you take no battle damage, and that's all hard once per turn. Pretty interesting right here. Okay, so they all have protection. Some of themselves from the hand. Wait, this one's a bit different actually. I never looked at this one. If you control a Transcendent, you could send the top card of your deck to your graveyard, then special summon this card from your hand. Summon this, special this, Xyz summon. Okay. And same protection. This one has protection, but it's not the traditional one. Alright, and they have a bunch of... They have more traps than spells. So, why do they want to be sent to the graveyard? So, choose one Transcendent Pearl Dragon spell or trap from your deck and place it on the top of your deck. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect of a Transcendent Pearl Dragon monster, you can add one Transcendent Pearl Dragon monster from your deck to your hand. Oh, okay. So this basically stacks your deck, and if it's sent to the graveyard, it adds a Pearl Dragon monster from deck to hand. Okay, so you can actually stack another copy of this card on the top of the deck, and then have something mill a card, and then you basically get another monster. This one right here is... Why did it not scroll? Okay, hold on. Lon Xian. Alright, add one Transcendent Pearl Dragon card that's banished from your graveyard to your hand. If this card is in your graveyard if this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can shuffle one monster from your hand or graveyard into the deck, draw one card, then you can place one other Transcendent spell or trap from your graveyard onto the top of the deck. Alright, so this kind of recycles. This one right here is the counter trap of the deck. When a card effect is activated, tribute a Pearl Dragon, negate, and destroy. Alright. Pretty standard Infernity Barrier. Somewhat Infernity Barrier, you just go, you just have to tribute a monster. I don't think it's like a neg one. Yeah, it is a neg one. Because your opponent loses a card because they didn't get value out of it. Meanwhile, you're losing 2 cards, so basically, yeah, neg one. You can only, okay. If this card is sent to the graveyard by the effect of a Pearl Dragon monster, you can place another Transcendent Spell trap from your graveyard onto the top of the deck. Then target a Pearl Dragon you control, doubles attack. Ooh. So counter trap that negates and doubles the attack. Alright, very interesting. I've seen the Orcus trap, like, is a Rhoda, so that's fine. Long Mai, I don't know how to say Asia stuff. Also, is that a literal dragon in a volcano? That's actually pretty cool. Is that a volcano? I'm not sure. It kind of looks like it. I don't know. Tribute a Transcended Pearl Dragon to target up to 2 cards on the field, destroy them, and this card is sent to the graveyard by a card of by the effect F, a Transcended Pearl Dragon monster. You can special summon 1 Transcendent monster from your graveyard, and then same thing. Long Zai, this one at the start of the battle phase, you can target a monster on the field, destroy it. Wow, these are very destructive cards. Alright. So I guess we can say that the Pearl Dragons protect themselves while getting value off the spells and traps they get sent to the graveyard. Really cool deck. Kind of want to play this now, but I'm not really a fan of the artwork, in my opinion. Like, worms are not my thing, except this one. Worms are not my thing, so, and neither is dragons, unless it's psychic summoning dragons. Yeah, otherwise, I think this deck might be a good contender for the meta of this server. Alright, now, next up we got the Delphine deck. This is a level 1 water fish archetype. I never seen a custom fish deck be made in a long time. And this is Teddy Slasher's deck. I actually went against this, and it was so annoying. The deck was like literally so annoying. He would just be, what these things can do is that they inflict they basically attack you directly, and they do something when they inflict battle damage to your opponent. This one gives a Delphine, makes all your Delphines gain 1,000 attack and defense. This one allows you to target a card on the field and banish it. This one, you can destroy 1 special summon monster. This one, you can special summon Delphine from your hand. This is actually a really good Delphine monster. This is actually one of the best ones, since you could just bring out another one. And this one, you can add a Delphine spell or trap from your deck to your hand. And the spells and traps are something, they're not really super meta, but they're not super meta, but they're actually pretty good. They could be extenders for some things. So they just whittle down your opponent's life points. However though, what he's also been running is defensive traps, and that's the most annoying part. If he sets down a card, you're probably not going to be touching these Delphine cards for battle, because he's got this thing called, there's a card out there, Poseidon's Way, that negates attack and inflicts 800 damage for each fish monster you control. For each fish monster you control, at least a fish, I think. And then and that's not once per turn, so you just can't really touch him if he has multiples of those set, and you're gonna be losing a lot of life points if he has like a full board of fishes. But all in all, it is a really fun deck to go against, I'm not gonna lie. If you wanna check out the deck yourself, go find Teddy Slasher on Dueling Book whenever you can. So the spells and traps, I never really saw these because he never really played them, except for this one, which is the Rank Up Magic Sonar Sonata. This one right here, it is a Rank Up Magic, so, yeah, as you can tell, it's an Xyz deck, that we explained earlier. So this one basically allows you to rank up to a rank 2 fish Xyz monster using a Delphine Xyz monster you control as a material. And does it have another effect? Nope, but it just attaches. Okay. We got Power Wave. Change all Delphi monsters you currently control to defense position, and if you do, those monsters cannot be destroyed by battle until the end of this turn. Okay, now this card is so good. This is another card that's actually pretty good. You could just not take damage, unless your opponent's playing Piercing. What else does this do? If a Delphine monster or monsters you control would be destroyed, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. Oh, and it's protection as well. So your opponent can't really touch them for a turn. That's nice. The attacks of Delphi monsters cannot be negated. You can send this face-up card to the graveyard to special summon a Delphi monster from your graveyard. Space error right here. Then if that target was a Delphine Xyz monster, attach this card to that monster as material. You can only activate this effect once per turn. I'm pretty sure they said use this effect. I'm not sure. I don't know. Anyways, and all I know is that the trap probably does like burn damage. Yeah. If you inflict damage to your opponent with a Delphine, you inflict 500 damage to your opponent. And if it's in your graveyard, you can banish it to add a Delphine monster from deck to hand. So you can Foolish Burial Goods this, and then that's a Rhoda. That's actually pretty cool. Alright. So next archetype we got is the Pride Legion one. I believe this one's like you could tribute summon without, you can normal summon them without tributing, and something happens. I don't know. Anyways, first one right here we got Azure Core. This deck was made by it's the admin again. So if you control no monsters, you can normal summon this card without tributing. If this card is normal summon, you can special summon a level 6 or lower Pride Legion monster from your graveyard. If you control exactly one level 6 Pride Legion monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. A Pride Legion Xyz monster that uses this card as Xyz material gains the following effect. And the following effect is, if this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. Alright, so this is, as I was saying, piercing battle damage against Delphines. This is the one card that could win against it. Anyway, sorry about that cut. I had to go do something real quick. So anyways, let's continue on with this Pride Legion archetype. So this one right here, same thing. If this card is normal summon, you can increase its level by 1, and then add a level 6 Pride Legion monster from your deck to your hand. I think we were actually talking about making a level 6 deck at one point, because there weren't any level 6 decks out there. I did make a level 6 deck called the Towering Heroes, but that deck is somewhat unbalanced and underpowered. Meaning if you just go off, it's really powerful. You could kind of like pick off your opponent's board bits by bits and then OTK, but it's also underpowered for the fact that it doesn't really have much ways of searching except with one monster. So yeah. Anyways, if you control exactly a Pride Legion monster, level 6 Pride Legion monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. And this one added effect is it cannot be targeted by card effects during your turn. So you can, on your opponent's turn, I guess they have to like take care of that Xyz monster really quickly. But if it's during the opponent's turn, that card is pretty much unnegatable, unless you got like Strike or something. Unless this one protects it by card effects. Yep, that one protects it by card effects, and this one adds a level 5 Pride Legion monster from your deck to your hand. So I guess this is all comprised of level 5 and 6s. This one is basically a stratus of the deck while also increasing its level by 1. So that's actually pretty cool. You could just like normal summon this card, and then this card so I guess the combo right here is normal Azure Cloud. Azure Cloud increases its level to 6, and then adds the Azure Inferno. Azure Inferno can special summon itself because you control Azure Cloud, and then you could Xyz summon for whatever Xyz monster you have. Yeah, this one. Wait, is that the only Xyz monster they have? Okay. That's interesting. And then you just have an Xyz monster that's like, unless, oh, this could accept any number of Pride Legion monsters as material. So then with these two cards, you pretty much have an Xyz monster that during your turn, your opponent cannot destroy or target card effects. And this one here, it can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. I believe they might have ways of attaching Legion, Pride Legions, from somewhere to your Xyz monster. Lionheart of the Eight. Wait, what is this? Special summon a Pride Legion Sovereign Lionheart of the Azure Crescent. That's a name right there. Is that it right here? Oh yeah, that's it right there. So it just reborns the one Xyz monster, and it cannot, and it has protection. That's nice. This one right here, special summons a Pride monster from your hand, and it's basically the Crusader revival effect. So let's go on with the spells. The spells right here, Conscription. This one says add a Pride Legion from your deck to your hand, and if you do, you can shuffle one Pride Legion monster with a different name from your graveyard into the deck. So it's a Stratos and a Recycler. It's a Rhoda and a Recycler. That's actually pretty neat right there. If a Pride monster you control would be destroyed by battle, you could, or card fake, you can banish this card. Oh, so you just can't touch them anyway because you got this in the grave. We already talked about Last Stand. Oppression. Shuffle 3 Pride Legion monsters from your graveyard into deck and draw 1 card. So this basically is the mini pot of advice for the deck. So I guess you would actually burn through your resources a lot like your monsters. I don't know what this thing does. Let's actually take a look at this because let's see. You can also Xyz summon this card by using a Pride Legion Link monster you control as material. Oh, so this is a Dingirsu effect right here. So before we talk about that, let's see what the Link monster does. 2 Pride Legion monsters with 2000 attack, including a monster whose original level is 5. If this card is Link summoned, you can add a Pride Legion card from your graveyard to your hand, then return a Pride Legion Sovereign Lionheart of the Azure Crescent from in your graveyard to your extra deck. You can only use this effect once per turn. Alright. So it recycles 2 cards. That's actually pretty sweet right there. Arrows are fine for its effects. Anyways, this one, what is it? Okay, so let's see what this was. It discards Xyz summon, attach all other monsters you control and in your hand to this card as material. So that's a mandatory effect, it seems like, and yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it on that summon. It discard battles an opponent's monster. Any battle damage it inflicts to your opponent is doubled. Ooh. How much attack is it? 1500. Okay. It discard oh wait, I already talked about that. At the start of the damage step, this card attacks an opponent's monster. Quick effect, you can detach all Xyz materials from this card. This card gains a 1000 attack for each. Holy crap. So wait, hold on. So it happens at the start of the damage step, so that means not really much effects can be used. So let's say you attach like all 4, that's gonna be like 55,000 right here, and then since it does double the battle damage, that's gonna be like game right there if it attacks a fairly weak monster. But if your opponent like has a powerful monster that you can't get over, this card right here can definitely get over it. However, that card is archetype locked, so I'm not really gonna see it in much other decks. All right. So there's that. Next up is Revealing Light Archetype. We already talked about what this deck does. However, I did not show off this card right here. This is a new card that I told Top Hat to make, and then he's like, okay, here you go. And he made it the Spiritual Swords of Revealing Light's art in the back, which I really like. So this card is Xyz something you can special summon Revealing Light from your hand or graveyard. So this just basically is a Gothenburg or a Reborn for the deck. And then if during your end phase, it's the same as Wyvern, where it banishes itself at the end of the turn. It was sent there to the graveyard, But this one adds a banished Revealing Light card or one that is in your graveyard to your hand, except Hymnus, and that effect is a hard once per turn. So this card is actually pretty good to set up your engine plays. Another change in the deck is that Sanctuary Revealing Light is a continuous spell, not a field. Because Revealing Lights apparently have a Revealing Light spell or field spell, and I don't understand that. So yeah, the field spell's trash, but this can't be a field spell now. So anyways, we already know what. So now we know what the new cards and the updates to this deck does. Let's get over to the next subtype, which is Butter Spies. I think we already made a video on Butter Spies at one point, but in case we didn't, here we go. They don't have their other two continuous spells. However, though, their field spell is sort of not a joke. This one is a Rhoda for the deck and can pop a monster if you exceed or link summon a Butter Spy or Papally Operative monster, and burn your opponent. So this field spell could actually be really good. And it also has another effect where during the end phase, if the turn player did not summon a monster or monsters, they take 1,000 damage. So again, there's that loop right there where your opponent had to attack with a monster, but their attack will get negated and they'll take 1,500 for it with the 3-card combo. But with Vortex on the field, they now have to summon a monster, otherwise they take 1,000 damage. And they can't set either to protect themselves, so since it doesn't count as a summon, they take 1,000 damage. So your opponent is just gonna pretty much take damage for doing nothing. And you need like 4 cards to do this, and if you get like all 4 cards on the field because you got them in your starting hand, congrats to you, Trey. And we also gave them you can only control one of each of the continuous spells, but like I said, they said that it could be teched in, and they also said that they could take out the 2,000 life points cost during the standby phase because that was a bit too much. You're not going to really keep this card out on the field, and Virginia basically changed it to, instead of gaining life points in place of paying life points for the Butter Spy cards, you basically take half effect damage. So you'll basically take 9. I don't. What is half of 15? I'm not really sure. You would just take half of 1,500 if your monster does happen to get destroyed. Next up, we got Dance of the Butter Spy. This one is a neat little rescue rabbit of the deck, especially paired up with Buckeye Butter Spy. You can special summon 2 level 4 Butter Spy monsters from your deck, with the cost that it cannot be special summoned, and you control Butter Spy Vortex. And then if Butter Spy Vortex is face up in your field zone, you can special summon 2 level 4 or lower Butter Spy monsters, 1 from hand and 1 from deck with Dance of the Butter Spies, and you just cannot attack that turn. So this is a really neat. This is a really nice Xyz play right here. You could get out 2 Xyz monsters with both Buckeye and Dance of the Butter Spy, and all you need is Butter Spy Vortex. Not only that, Butter Spy Vortex can like search out Buckeye, and then you get 2 monsters for free. This one is basically this card right here is basically what is it? Lunalight Reincarnation Dance. If your card gets destroyed, you get to add 2 monsters, but this one special summons 2 level 4 Butter Spy monsters from your deck. So you are going to be burning through your resources a lot, so Trey might as well be playing Pot of Red Rice. And this one's kind of like the Infernity Barrier of the deck, the true Infernity Barrier. And it can also reset itself, but it gets banished when it leaves the field. So basically, this is a Salamangreat Roar of the deck. And let's talk about these 4 cards right here. Aeron the Shining. This wasn't released in the Gemini set, but it's released now. This one basically protects a face-up card you control from being destroyed by battle card effects. Skyheart Savior. I never saw this card. Alright, so it's a level. What level is this? I can't read. Level 8. So each time you gain life points except by the effect of Skyheart Savior, gain 300 life points. If you gain life points, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, destroy it, and if you do, special summon this card from your graveyard if it was there when you gain life points, or hand even if not. During your end phase, you can add a light fairy monster from your graveyard to your hand. What? Oh my gosh. So, could this be Herald support? No, I was kidding. Anyways, next we have Skyheart Vanguard. Wrong game. It's a level 3 light warrior monster with 1100 attack and 1900 defense. Cannot be destroyed by battle while you control another Skyheart monster. Neither player takes battle damage from attacks involving this card. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles a face-up monster, gain life points equal to half that monster's original attack. If this card is summoned, you can send one light fairy monster from your deck to your graveyard. So, I guess these two cards like go well with each other, and so you just gain life points and then you summon this card. So. And also pop a card. I guess that's just all that there is to it. It's just two cards that you can just put in your deck as a little tech option. This last trap right here is Ghost Salvage. So if when a water exceeds monster control is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, special summon that monster and all the monsters maxes to that were used for its exceed summon from your graveyard, but their effects are negated. So this is actually a pretty cool tech option, and I can see Teddy Slasher playing it in his Delphine deck, but I don't think I would be seeing it that much. Yeah, it's just a Xyz Reborn. Nothing else to say here. Alright, now that we got everything in this deck in the main deck section out of the way, let's get on to the extra deck monsters. There's only a handful of extra deck monsters to go through, so let's go through them really quickly. This one, wait, can they fusion summon? Wait, the Pearl Jacks can fusion summon? Okay, here's the Link monster. Let's see. Oh, this is the Link monster that that's fusion summons. Okay, and it cannot be used as Link material. All right, so you can discard up to 2 Transcendent Pearl Dragon cards, or discard. Sorry, special summon that many Transcendent Dragon fusion monsters with different names from your extra deck to zones this card points to. This is treated as a fusion summon. While you control a fusion monster, your opponent cannot target this card for attacks. And you cannot special summon monsters except Pearl Dragon monsters. Okay, so that fusion, technically fusion summons, and these are some somewhat big monsters to go around. We got the anime stats one right here. When this card declares an attack, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to half this card's original attack. And at the start of the damage step, this card attacks an opponent's monster. You can destroy that monster, and if it's sent to the graveyard by the opponent's card, you can special summon one Pearl Dragon non-fusion monster from your hand or graveyard. Alright, and this one right here, your opponent cannot target other monsters you control with card effects, and when a card effect is activated that targets a card you control, what? Okay, you can tribute one card from your hand or field, negate the activation, then this card gains 500 attack. So wait, what? Tribute a card from your hand or field? Why not tribute one monster from your hand or field? Because that's the most common one to tribute. If anything, you would just send, it's either just send the card anyway, because that doesn't make any sense. I tribute a spell, oh wait, True Drayko's actually done that, never mind. Okay, moving on, you can tribute this card. Oh, we already read that effect. This card does it. If it gets rid of, you can special summon a Pearl Dragon non-fusion monster from your hand or graveyard. So basically the same thing. They just float. All right. Next up, we got the Delphine monsters. This one is the rank 2 that you summon with Sonar Sonata. And during the battle phase, Delphine monsters cannot be targeted by card effects. And this card has Delphi Spinner as Xyz material. quick effect, you can detach one Xyz material from this card, then target one face-up monster your opponent controls, and negate the effects of that face-up monster until the opponent's next standby phase. That's actually a really good effect, because with this one right here, this is actually the one disruption that a pure Delphine deck would actually have. So that's actually pretty good right there. Spinner right here can attack directly. And at the start of the damage step, at the end of the damage step, this card attacked or was attacked, you can change this card to defense position. And once per turn, if a fish monster inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can detach one Xyz material from this card, inflict 800 damage to your opponent. So this is literally Jockey got Cowboy if he was a dolphin. And we got not going to try and pronounce that name. You can destroy as many monsters as possible with attack different from their original attack. And you can add one Delphine spell or trap from your graveyard to your hand. Wait, when does that happen? Cause that doesn't make any sense right there. You can add one Delphine spell or trap from your graveyard to your hand. Is that like a during the main phase or when a Delphine inflicts battle damage? Cause like, I don't know. I think we need to fix a problem selling card decks on that. I think it's when your Delphine monster inflicts battle damage to your opponent. Anyways, we already talked about the Pride Legions. We already seen my Revealing Lights right here. Whisper got changed, so now during the standby phase, you can send the Swords of Revealing Light from your deck to your graveyard, and your opponent cannot target Revealing Light monsters you control for attacks for the rest of this turn. So that means that you still technically skip their battle phase. We already seen much about the extra deck of Butter Spies. This one right here got changed, so this one got changed, so basically now it just adds a Butter Spy monster rather than a card, because Zod didn't like the idea of searching out the counter trap, which is a very powerful trap for the deck. And we got Alice right here. This one has some good effects going for it. So, as a quick effect, you can special summon two of this card's materials that are monsters. Then you draw one card. So you get two monsters, and you get a draw. So you can just like Xyz summon this effect, special summon two, and then you draw. And then this has another effect. During your opponent's turn, if this card has no materials, you can target one special summon monster on the field with 1900 or more attack, destroy it, and if you do, attach that monster in the graveyard to this card's Xyz material during the end phase. So that means just right away you can just detach the summon 2 and then make another Xyz monster while this card is still in the field. This is another disruption that the deck can have. And so let's see. During the end phase, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the number of Butter Spy and Poply Operative monsters you control times 600, and you gain life points equal to the number of face-up spells or traps you control times 600. So this basically gets you life points back and does extra damage to your opponent. So I feel like Butter Spies can be really good. They just don't have their Gate and Charm yet, but I hope they get it, because that is a very difficult combo to go against. And the last one we got right here is Toon Deep Crustacean, which is, like I said, literally is a Paleozoic. So this card is linked something you can add a Toon Kingdom from deck to hand. It's basically Banelinks. If the Toon World would be destroyed by a card effect, you could banish this card from your graveyard instead. This is literally Banelinks, so there's nothing else to talk about here. Anyways, I really hope that's pretty much the end of this set. I feel like we went through this pretty fast, but I feel like this is just the same speed as we go through decks before. So, if you guys like this video, please hit that like button down below. Comment down below what you'd like to see next. This set was made by the most well-known leader, the most mature leader of all, Nasferatuzod.